You're going from the world back 45, 50 years ago.
Tour guide John Nugent shepherds a group of visitors through the bunker-like entryway to the Vietnam War Memorial in Holmdel, New Jersey. It's a journey to the past that not too long ago, the Vietnam War veteran would not have imagined himself taking, much less leading.
I frankly did nothing about Vietnam. No one knew I was a Vietnam veteran until 9/11. And September 11th woke me up, and I knew I had to connect with Vietnam because it was important in my formation, frankly. So I joined it in '08 just to come to grips, frankly, with Vietnam.
Nugent's feelings about the war are complicated. Ask 40 different veterans about their experiences, and he says you'll hear about 40 different wars. But the memorial and its companion Vietnam-era museum provide a cathartic space for people who fought in the war to connect, no matter what their experience is.
Our motto at the New Jersey Vietnam Veterans Memorial is to remember, to honor, to heal. So we remember all those who fought. We honor the 1,563 names on the wall, and we help each other heal. Okay, whether you need it or not, you need it. It's good. There are things you can communicate with another vet that you can't communicate with anyone else.
Perhaps that's partially because the Vietnam War was and continues to be mired in controversy. Deputy Director and Museum Curator Sarah Taggart says that's why a Vietnam-era museum was developed alongside the memorial when plans were made in the 1990s, to provide a broader understanding of the factors that contributed to the period.
This was always meant to be a context piece to help understand the complexities of that era, because it's a really tough period of time to talk about.
When the museum was being created in the late 90s, a committee comprised of veterans, historians, educators, and museum professionals worked together in deciding how to tell the story of the war. Ralph Applebaum and Associates, the museum exhibit design firm behind the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., brought their ideas to fruition. The museum tells the history in layers. On the outside uppermost area in sepia tone, you'll see a timeline of what's happening in the United States, pop culture and politics. Below that in green, a timeline of the war itself. And then as you move to the center of the room, letters written home by individuals who fought in the war, and stories on the big screen.
We try to kind of bring that human element to it in multiple ways. We hope that by sharing their photographs and their biographies that they understand that these are men and one woman on our wall. And we hope that they understand they have families and they had communities and they played baseball and basketball and they loved cars and they played music and they're people. So we really want to make sure that their stories are not forgotten.
Nugent personalizes his tour as well, connecting the memorial sites to those they remember. He talks about seeing grieving family members meditating by the Gold Star Family Monument, and shares a story of the lone female from New Jersey who lost her life in the war. He even shares some of his own experiences at the Memorial for U.S. War Dogs.
My platoon is moving and was kind of exposed, and the dog we had would sit if he smelled or saw something, okay? So the dog sits. So I say to the handler, "What's going on, young man?" So he said, well, whatever the dog's name, smells or sees something, whatever. I said, get him up, get him moving, because we didn't see anything. We went another 6 or 7 feet, the dog sits again. So I move up again and I say to the handler, look, I'm worried that Charlie is gonna get us. And the handler says, and he points to your feet, there was a tripwire with Chinese hand grenade there and a Chinese hand grenade there. So I love dogs. Okay.
Surrounded by carefully curated exhibits and remembrances, the visitor experience at the memorial and museum is a far cry from the reception that greeted many returning members of the military 50 years ago. As Nugent says, many in the U.S. had trouble separating the warrior from the controversial war. He recalls his plane touching down in San Francisco.
And I can remember as vividly as if it were yesterday. Here's a group of demonstrators. Now, they were half a football field away, and they were behind a fence. But one of them, it was a beautiful young lady, probably my age, with a headband, blonde hair, and she had a sign that said "baby killer." And I'm saying, okay, let me think about this. I just spent a year, and ultimately every soldier fights for the freedoms that are here in America. every soldier. It may not be what we do specifically day by day, but it's to maintain the freedoms we have in America. One of them is the right to free speech. So here is a group demonstrating free speech against what I'm doing, which is fighting for them to have the right. I mean, cognitive dissonance was part of an issue.
Nugent was just 24. Now, years later, he's had time to work through what it all meant, and he wants to teach the upcoming generation so the mistakes made in and around the Vietnam War aren't repeated, though he fears some of them already have been.
Those are lessons learned that we should have done. The turmoil in society that existed then is very like the turmoil now. There were assassinations, there were women's rights, there were civil rights issues. You know, why do we still have these here? Okay, it's shocking, but that's human nature. But we can talk about it, we can address it. You have the domino theory explained here, which is what got us into Vietnam.
In Holmdel, I'm Maddie Orton for Metro Focus.